Hello, good morning, students. Today we are going to see the topic Universal Human Values from the course Professional Ethics and Human Values. Let us start with the session plan. Initially, we will have a recap and followed by the objectives of the session. Then we will have a case study based understanding. Then at the end of the session, we will have a summary of understanding and followed by the assessment. So let us have a recap with ice-breaking questions. The first question, what makes us truly human? Our skills are our values. So you have to justify what makes us truly human, whether our skills or our values. So students, you have to share your response quickly, or you can create a word cloud of responses. So the purpose of this activity is to activate awareness of the moral and emotional dimensions. So the learning objectives of this particular session is to explain the concept and importance of universal human values, to identify how values influence decisions and behavior, also to apply design thinking to ethical or human-centered issues, also to reflect on values through group activities. Here the core concepts are universal human values, which is fundamental to all the human beings regardless of culture or religion. Example, truth, love, peace, right, conduct, and non-violence. The importance is here is it is used to build trust, empathy, and cooperation. It ensures ethical and sustainable living. Also, it is used to integrate harmony between self, society, and nature. If you look at the diagram, it is explaining the balance in life in terms of social, physical, professional level, pleasurable level, and mental, spiritual, and emotional and material level. So here the problem statement with the persona. There is an employee, Ravi, who is a management trainee. He is working under pressure and he is falsifying the reports of work to the higher authorities. So how the problem statement is understood is how his mistake is being identified by the organization. If at all, if it is being identified by the organization, how might the organizations help these employees like Ravi to react to the situation of ethical dilemma with the professional training? So let us analyze this problem with the design thinking stages. Initial stage of empathy. We need to empathize on the persona of Ravi as he is a management trainee under pressure who is actually making the falsifying reports. And to state this problem with the definition, it is a conflict is being created between the personal values and organizational pressure between him and the organization. And to identify the solution with the ideation stage, transparent system, value based training, and reflective dialogue. So these three things are actually the mechanism of dealing the grievances or the problems what Ravi is facing. And the prototype here, it is an example of decision tree, short term gain and long term integrity. So test the activity, we need to have a role play on ethical dilemma. On one side is truth and other side is loyalty. So it's between employee and organization. So that is the design thinking stages. And as you see the Stanford T-shaped model, horizontally if you look at that, it explains the technical part of human consciousness, moral reasoning, ethical decision frameworks. If you look at in the vertical side, technical, and horizontal side is actually the applications, business ethics, CSR, sustainability, psychology, and leadership. And the future scope is about AI ethics, global citizenship, and human mission empathy on this. So here let us have a case study activity where we can engage ourselves. The scenario here, it is given as a software company which is skipping the testing to meet the deadlines. So without going through the testing phase, it is trying to meet the deadlines. That's the problem of a case. So the questions are, which values are compromised? How should employees respond ethically? So as you students, you have to analyze the situation of this company and you have to come up with three guiding values and present it as a short solution. And here is a mind map where you can see the various uh, uh, related terminologies, jargons of universal human values, the peace, service and duty, non-violence, social responsibility, and truth and right of conduct. So it's all explained in the form of mind map where we can have a revision of our entire session. And the summary of our session is we came to know what is exactly the universal human values, how the design thinking cycle has been incorporated into this five stages, and how the empathy, from empathy it becomes, the ethics becomes a harmonial process at the end, and the integration between the personal values and professional expectations are aligned, and also the employees has to be in a future readiness for the organizations. And let us have an assessment reflection on this particular question: which universal value matters most in your career, and you have to tell why. So that's one of the reflection questions. And assessment here it is, you need to define the universal human values first of all, and you have to mention two challenges where the values are mattering, values matter most, and suggest one way to promote values at work. Okay, so here it is, the clue is given, the connection, action and intention. You have to find the solution for this assessment. Yes, the key takeaways from our session is to rights to protect individual dignity and organizational ethics, and it is to create an awareness builds responsible professionalism, also design thinking, which is fostering the empathy and ethical problem solving. Thank you students, let us continue in next class.